Okay, so get ready, because today we're diving into a scenario that's, well, it's pretty wild.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Imagine, right, just waking up one morning and boom, giant alien vessels are just hanging out in the sky.
No warning, no nothing.
Nope, just poof, they're here.
That's a good way to start the day.
And to really break this down, we're going to be using snippets from this fictional documentary called What If Aliens Landed on Earth?
Sounds right up our alley.
Right. So the cool thing about this documentary is it doesn't just focus on the spectacle, the spaceships and all that.
Right.
It really dives into how humanity might react.
The human element, I like it.
Yeah. So you've got governments freaking out, the military on high alert.
And let's not forget about, everyday people.
Oh, totally. Everyone glued to the news, trying to wrap their heads around it.
Complete chaos, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely. But hold on, because before we even get to the ship's landing, the documentary throws in a twist.
Oh,
A signal.
a signal?
Yeah, a super complex, obviously intelligent signal from deep space.
So they're not just showing up unannounced, they're reaching out.
Exactly. And in the documentary, the scientists immediately know it's a deliberate attempt to communicate.
Which means, confirmation. We're not alone.
Whoa. Yeah.
That would just rock our world, wouldn't it? I mean, that signal alone would turn our understanding of everything upside down.
Okay, now I'm getting goosebumps. So the big question is, what does this signal mean?
Right. Is this an invitation or are we in trouble?
Exactly.
And the documentary does a fantastic job of exploring all those different reactions.
Yeah.
Like, on one hand, you have the military experts.
Right.
They're focused on, potential threats.
Yeah, to be prepared.
Absolutely. They're thinking about containment, observation.
Makes sense.
But they also have to prepare for every possible scenario.
Right, because who knows what these aliens are like or what they want.
Exactly. But then you've got religious leaders who are grappling with some serious theological questions.
Yeah, like what does this mean for their faith?
Right. Are these beings part of God's plan? Is this a test? Some are even preaching about the end times,
Whoa.
while others are urging caution and prayer.
I mean, can you imagine? That would really make you question everything.
It's a powerful moment. And then you've got everyday folks, people like farmers.
Right, people whose lives are about to be totally upended.
Exactly. They're thinking, what does alien tech mean for, my crops, my livelihood?
What does it mean for the future?
Yeah. It's a brilliant way to show how this kind of event would touch every single part of society. No one is immune.
Okay, let's go back to those scientists for a sec. They're the ones, trying to decode this alien signal, right?
Right.
What's their perspective on all of this?
Well, they're pretty much terrified and exhilarated at the same time.
Can you blame them?
Not at all. I mean, this is the biggest scientific discovery ever.
Right.
But it's also a massive unknown. It's like this incredible sense of awe, but mixed with real, genuine concern about what this all means for humanity.
So how do they crack the code? I mean, it's alien language. We don't exactly have a dictionary for that.
This is where it gets really cool. The writers actually did their research.
Okay.
They have the scientists discover that the aliens are using prime numbers to communicate.
Wait, prime numbers. Why is that so important?
Well, think about it. Prime numbers, they're like the building blocks of math.
Okay.
They're fundamental no matter where you are in the universe.
Yeah.
It makes sense that a really advanced civilization would use them as a basis for communication.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Right. So they actually managed to establish two-way communication. We're like having a conversation with these aliens.
Yep, it's a global effort too.
Really?
Oh yeah, scientists from all over the world are pooling their knowledge.
Incredible.
They're overcoming all these challenges, and finally, they figure out how to talk to these extraterrestrial visitors.
Okay, so the communication's open. What happens next?
Well, picture this.
Okay.
This massive alien vessel, it descends from the sky.
Oh, and it touches down with this grace, this elegance that's just mind-blowing considering its size.
So it's not like a crash landing or anything.
Oh, no. This is a controlled, almost delicate landing. And as the alien crew emerges, well, the world holds its breath.
Okay, hold on. Before we get into the whole meet and greet the aliens thing, we've got to talk about biohazards.
Oh, right.
We're talking about two completely different species interacting for the first time.
And the documentary doesn't shy away from that.
Yeah.
Even the tiniest microbe could be devastating for either species.
I mean, who knows what kind of immune systems they have.
Exactly. So there's a huge emphasis on biohazard protocols, sterilized meeting zones, atmospheric adjustments. They go all out.
I mean, I never even thought about what first contact protocols would look like in real life.
Yeah, it's complex.
So after all that, after all the precautions, what happens when we finally meet these aliens face to face?
Well, the first official meeting happens in a very controlled environment. And get this, an alien representative addresses the world,
Okay.
and they're speaking in multiple Earth languages.
What? Ow.
I know, right? Talk about making an effort. So they begin their address. They reveal they're from an alliance of 3 different planets.
Ooh.
And their purpose, totally peaceful.
Okay.
They're here to share knowledge, build understanding, and help us grow. Basically, they come in peace.
Hmm. That sounds a little too good to be true, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be a little suspicious? A 3-planet alliance, what does that even mean?
Right. Like, what kind of government do they have? What are their values? Are they even telling us the whole truth?
So many questions. But you know what? Let's take a quick break, and then we can dive into exactly what this knowledge sharing actually looks like.
Okay, so these aliens just told us they're here to, like, share knowledge and help us grow, right? But, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting. This documentary actually dives into the specifics of their offer. And it's not exactly what you'd expect. They offer some pretty incredible technologies. Things like solutions to actually heal the planet,
Yeah.
sustainable energy sources that could power entire cities,
Wow.
even medical advancements that could wipe out diseases we've been struggling with for centuries.
That's huge.
It is. But I said it wasn't what you'd expect.
Right. What's missing? What's the catch?
Well, the documentary highlights what they don't offer. Things like advanced AI, interstellar travel, that sort of thing.
Oh, so they're holding back. Interesting.
Right. They actually make a point of saying humanity isn't ready for that level of responsibility.
I can see how that would be a little insulting to some people.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, here are the training wheels, but don't even think about touching the spaceship.
Exactly. And the documentary shows this huge range of reactions. Some folks are grateful.
Yeah, seeing it as like wisdom,
Right, like they're being cautious, protecting us from ourselves.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But others, they're furious.
Oh, I bet.
They're accusing the aliens of holding us back, like we're deliberately being kept down.
Yeah, I think I'd be leaning towards the skeptical side on that one. Who are they to decide what we're ready for?
It's a valid point, and it's something the documentary really wrestles with.
Okay.
The aliens, they justify it by pointing to, well, our history, our wars, environmental destruction, inequality.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Right. Like, it's pretty clear we haven't exactly mastered being, peaceful and responsible.
So are they just leaving us to figure it out then? Hoping we eventually learn our lesson?
Not exactly. They do offer guidance, share knowledge, insights that could help us overcome those challenges.
Interesting.
And they give us access to technologies that can help with some of the really urgent stuff like climate change, food scarcity.
Oh, okay, so it's more like a toolkit than a complete takeover.
Exactly. Like, here are the building blocks. Try not to mess it up this time.
I can't even imagine the debates happening on Earth right now.
Oh, it would be wild.
Like some people praising these aliens as saviors.
Right.
And others convinced it's all a trick,
Oh, yeah, conspiracy theories would be exploding. Some people would see them as a threat, a force to be resisted.
So you've got believers and skeptics, the grateful and the terrified.
Yeah.
It's like total existential whiplash.
Exactly. It's this massive upheaval, and the documentary really captures that. But what's interesting is that the aliens, they're surprisingly patient.
Really?
Yeah, they understand our fears, our doubts, even our anger.
So they're not forcing anything on us.
No. They keep saying their mission isn't about control, it's about helping us evolve.
Okay, so it's a hands-off approach, teach a man to fish kind of thing.
Right, but how does that actually play out?
Yeah, how does humanity actually change?
Well, the documentary shows a world that's totally different. Old institutions are questioned, new beliefs spring up,
I bet.
and our whole understanding of, ourselves, our place in the universe, it starts to shift.
And what about science? I mean, can you imagine what this would do to the scientific community?
It's like a scientific revolution on steroids.
Whoa.
Scientists are scrambling to understand these alien technologies,
Right.
but it's not just about gadgets, it's about like a fundamental shift in how we see the universe.
Okay.
Our whole understanding of biology, physics, even the origins of life, It's all being rewritten overnight.
That's incredible. It's like throwing out all the textbooks and starting from scratch.
Right. And that comes with a whole new wave of questions like what's the meaning of life? What's our purpose?
Yeah, the big existential stuff.
Exactly. And the documentary shows people really wrestling with what it means to be human in the face of, well, being so much more advanced than us.
So it's not just about the technology. It's about, like, a philosophical awakening, maybe even a spiritual one.
It is, but it's not all, sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
There are growing pains, conflicts, challenges. This is a huge adjustment.
I mean, we're being forced to confront our own limitations, right?
Right.
Not just as individuals, but as a whole species.
Exactly. But in the midst of all that, there are moments of hope.
Oh, good. I was getting worried.
You see people coming together, bridging divides, working toward a common goal.
So it's not just about the aliens saving us. It's about how we choose to respond to this challenge.
Precisely. The documentary really highlights that human element, the complexity. We're capable of incredible things, but also, terrible things.
It's like even with alien intervention, our future is still in our own hands.
It is. That's a powerful message. It's not about relying on some advanced civilization to fix everything, but taking responsibility for our own actions.
I love that. But you know what? We've only scratched the surface of what this documentary explores. There's a whole other layer, like a whole set of ethical dilemmas that we haven't even touched on yet.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot to unpack there.
Let's take a moment, gather our thoughts, and then dive into that really fascinating territory. So we've been talking about this hypothetical alien arrival, and it's clear that their presence wouldn't just be about, spaceships and fancy tech.
Oh, definitely not. It goes way deeper than that.
Right, like that makes you think about the ripple effects on us, on humanity. Like our beliefs, our conflicts, and especially all the ethical choices we'd suddenly have to face.
Yeah, the ethics of it all, that's what the documentary really digs into.
Okay, good, because I definitely wanted to talk more about that.
Well, it's not just about, the tech they bring, but what it means for us to actually use it.
I see, yeah.
Like, for example, they offer tech that can completely restore damaged ecosystems.
Wait, really?
Practically reverse climate change overnight.
That sounds incredible.
Right. It would be a game changer.
Yeah, but what's the catch? There's got to be an ethical dilemma somewhere.
Well, the documentary explores this idea that, maybe relying on alien solutions could actually stunt our own growth.
Ooh, interesting.
It's like, sure, we could heal the planet super fast, but then what?
Right, what happens next?
Exactly. Do we just become dependent on them?
Yeah, and lose the drive to develop our own sustainable solutions.
Exactly.
It's like a quick fix versus the potential for long-term stagnation.
Right. And the documentary doesn't shy away from showing both sides of the argument.
Oh, I bet. It's got to be pretty heated.
Oh, yeah. You've got people who are like, we need to integrate fully. It's the only way to save the planet.
Okay, yeah.
And then there are others who are worried about, becoming too reliant on this alien tech.
Right.
Becoming complacent, basically outsourcing our responsibility to this more advanced species.
I mean, it's a tough one.
It is.
Like, if we're talking about the survival of our planet, is it even ethical to not use every tool we have?
It's a good question.
But at the same time, there's this part of me that feels like we need to solve our own problems.
Yeah.
Like, to really evolve as a species,
And it's not just environmental tech either.
Right.
The documentary also looks at the medical advancements.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Imagine cures for diseases that have, plagued humanity for centuries.
Yeah, like cancer, Alzheimer's.
Exactly. Genetic disorders, all of it.
That would be revolutionary, but again, what are the ethical implications there?
Right, like who gets access to these cures?
Yeah.
How do you make sure it's affordable, that it's available to everyone, not just, a select few?
Exactly. It can't just be for the wealthy.
And then there's a question of, unintended consequences.
Oh, right. We don't fully understand this technology.
Could these treatments have side effects that we don't discover until it's too late?
It's like every solution just creates a whole new set of questions.
It does.
This alien arrival, it's not just a test of our technology, it's a test of our values.
It is. It forces us to really look at what we believe in, what we prioritize.
Like, do we want the fastest results, even if it means relying on someone else? Or is it more important to be self-reliant, to go through that long, often messy process of solving things ourselves?
It really makes you think about the whole, be careful what you wish for idea.
Yeah, isn't it? We dream about alien contact, but are we Are we really ready for what comes with it?
And that's what I love about this documentary.
Yeah.
It's not really about aliens, it's about us.
It's like holding up a mirror.
Exactly. It's saying, hey, humanity, are you ready to face the consequences of what you want?
You know, it's funny, we haven't even talked about like little green men or laser beams or anything.
Oh, right.
But this conversation has been more mind-blowing than any sci-fi movie I've seen.
That's the power of a good thought experiment.
It is.
It makes you think, question your assumptions, maybe even see your own potential in a new light.
So listeners, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to turn the question over to you.
Mm-hmm.
What resonated with you most from all of this?
Yeah.
What aspect of alien contact do you think would be the most impactful?
And if those ships appeared tomorrow, would we be ready?
Would humanity be ready? It's a lot to think about.
It is. And until next time, keep looking up, keep asking those big questions. Who knows? Maybe we'll get those answers sooner than we think.
This has been The Deep Dive, and we'll be back next week with another thought-provoking topic, ready to explore the most fascinating corners of knowledge. Thanks for joining us.